And Mr. Seda, we also wanted to know who was behind the development of the Uru Uru app.
The Uru Uru app was developed by WildNet Technologies in India.
Ah, valid.
And they've been extremely, extremely helpful.
Valid.
This was a very long process. It took longer than they expected. It took longer than I expected it to be. And part of it was, and at one point, the quote came up that nobody had ever done this before. And we had to, which I'm very honored, and I want to thank Stripe, because Stripe, the company, worked closely with WildNet Technologies to help develop the possibility of making this happen. That's why in the past, when I had quotes with different people, everybody said, it can't be done. Just get over it. Let you pay the artist but we said, no, we're going to do this. They said they could do it, and they found the way. And part of the problem was a technical problem. It was interesting because Stripe helped out. And I was always telling telling Sashiko, wow, this is incredible. Stripe is actually, putting in their time to recreate something with the code so it would work.
Right.
So this is not just me. Other people found interest in this. And that's why I really appreciate Pradeep. He's been working with me for a year. I consider him like a brother, and I highly recommend him. Because, you become friends, it's like family. You know what I mean? You can't help it. You talk to each other every day. And, and there's been some ups and downs, and we had to scratch our head several times. And then what happened was, when we were doing the last testing, which was in the last 3 months, we came up with the same problem over and over again. The money would go to me. I said, no, I don't want the money going to me, right? But, we have to have data. So it has to show, because that's what makes the app important. The data shows, well, the Uru Uru app, one guy sold 1 million records. I mean, that's the dream, right? You know what I mean?
Right.
And it can be, and it is possible, because there's a lot of artists out there, believe it or not, that I found out, and I don't want to mention the name because I don't know this person directly, but sold 1 million records on eBay. So people do buy music, and I want to kill that myth, You have to give value to what you create. If you don't give no value, of course you're not going to sell it. You don't believe in yourself. What do you want me to do? Believe in for you? You know what I mean?
Right.
So, but anyway, the thing is that this company, I never forget when they asked me the question, and this is when I trusted them, because I had a friend of mine, Danny Santiago. He came, who was my manager years ago, and he's a very dear friend in Puerto Rico. In a way, kind of Danny and a lot of the people I worked with growing up is what's inspired me to do this type of thing. So Danny was listening to them talk, and when they, and this is before Danny was on the conversation with them. When they asked me the question, he goes, "Do you really think this is going to work?" And I felt that they were sympathetic to what I wanted to do. They were asking me because they were going like, "Wow, this is not going to be." I could feel it. It's not going to be easy, but, do you really believe it? And I said, yes, I do believe it. And I spoke to him and I explained to him why. I said, because, when people go perform, they ask them for records.
Right.
You know what I mean? And it's unfortunate that we live in a time right now where I feel that streaming is destroying everything. You know what I mean? It's great for the company who's getting that $10 a month, but it's not great for the artist who's not getting anything.
Oh,
I mean, there was a big thing about Snoop Dogg, and sorry, Snoop Dogg, I don't know you, but I respect you. I love you. I think you're a great artist. But, for 1 billion streams, I think he got like $40,000. And he was saying like, wow. So imagine if we had 1 billion people scan the Uru Uru app, I think Snoop Dogg would be super freaking happy. You know what I mean?
Super rich.
Yeah, exactly. Well, he's an amazing artist, an amazing person. I like him. So, I just want to say that this company, I really thank you for making my dream come true, because this is a dream for me and my wife, and they helped me and they never gave up. There was moments that it got really hairy because, programming software is it's just like when you're mixing. Sometimes you run into something.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, wait a minute, we found out there's a mistake there. How do we fix it? You got to work it out, And what ended up happening at the end, and I highly recommend them. It wasn't their fault. It was an issue with with the code. So they had to rebuild the app, and Stripe helped out so then it would work. And we finally got it to work the other day, and now we're releasing it. And it took a long time, but there was a lot of patience, a lot of sleepless nights sometimes too. You know what I mean?
Indeed.
So I want to thank Pradeep and WildNet Technology. Thank you.
Oh, Dhanyavad, as we say in Hindi Bashar.
Hey.